What's up, guys? Live from my actually, I'm sitting on my bed here. But I actually want to run you guys through a quick little case study, testimonial, not the word, but I essentially want to show you guys exactly how I generated $225,000 in 6 months for a seven-figure apparel brand with some optimized email flow. So I want to run you guys through that real quick and how you can do it too without having to spend another dime on ads potentially. So, who am I? My name is Ryan Hammond. I'm the owner of Great Day Copy. I do optimized email and SMS marketing, help seven-figure brands optimize their Klaviyo accounts. So, yeah, generated $225,000 for this single client through optimized flows. I do high converting email design, email strategy, and SMS strategy that actually works for your brand. So, why this matters? You're renting growth instead of owning it. So every time you spend money on ads, you're essentially like paying rent. You don't own that traffic, you don't own the audience or their attention. And as soon as you stop paying for those ads, that growth stops. But with email flows and email and marketing in general, you own the customer journey. You can engage, convert, and resell them without constantly swiping your card and paying for ads. Obviously, you're going to be paying for ads, but you're going to be able to retain more of those people. So email's a known asset. Paid ads are more like a lease agreement. I want to run you through the exact flows that I use to help generate this brand an additional $225,000 in the last 6 months. So, pretty simple core flows: welcome flow, site abandon flow, browse abandon flow, cart abandon, checkout abandon, post purchase, and win back flow. Also sunset flow, but that one doesn't really generate revenue. That's just to protect deliverability. But if you don't know any of these, I'm going to run through them real quick. So welcome flow, obviously, when somebody signs up for your list from the discount you have on the website or whatever you're offering, they get into the welcome flow. They're sent the welcome flow immediately, usually 5 to 8 emails. Site abandon flow is when somebody is on your site, doesn't look at a product or anything like that. They're just active on the site and they leave. They get sent 1 to 2 emails to kind of re-engage them and hopefully get them back on the site and purchasing. Browse abandon flow. So this is when somebody actually views a product on your website but doesn't go any further than that. They just view a product. If they view a product and then leave without doing anything, as long as their email's been captured, obviously, they're sent a series of 3 to 5 emails to try to get them back and deeper into the funnel and ultimately purchasing. Cart abandon. We all know what cart abandon is. If somebody leaves their cart behind, we'll send them a series of emails to recover those abandoned items, get them to purchase. Same with checkout abandon, except that it's just a different trigger. Instead of just adding to cart, they actually started checkout in Shopify, and then so it's basically the same flow. You send the same emails, just different, kind of calls to actions, change a couple things. But yeah, post-purchase flow. Obviously, right after they purchase, we want to build trust with them. We want to upsell them onto potentially more product they might want, and also, request reviews. Win back flow, bring back old customers. Obviously, if somebody's purchased from your brand before, but they haven't purchased recently, win back flow is great for that. And then sunset flow is just essentially to kind of protect your deliverability and kind of like a last chance for somebody to re-engage with your list before they're removed. So yeah, I'm going to show you the screenshot of exactly where I generated this revenue for this brand. So, it's distorted. I got to pull it up again. New window. Will that work? No, that's so weird. Here, I'm going to pull this up. Boom. There we go. All right. So as we see, I'm going to move some things out of the way. Our welcome flow, this is from March to September. I set this in place for them. Some of these flows I set in place in March, and then some of them I set in June. So I'm going to run through those and tell you which ones they were. This welcome flow that's done 124 grand with the new pop-up and welcome flow, I set this for them in March. So it's been 6 months. Browse abandon flow, I set this in place for them in actually June or July. I think it was July. So 124 grand right here from the welcome flow, 4 grand from browse abandon. That was set in July. Abandoned cart and abandoned checkout. I set these in place 6 months ago, so in March. And that's when I set the first batch of flows. So the first batch was welcome flow, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, and then the rest were set in July. So yeah, post-purchase, we got 2 post-purchase flows in here. One of them is order delivered, triggered based on the delivered shipment, and one of them is based on placed order. So these were also set in July. So post-purchase, order delivered, and the regular post-purchase flow. VIP flow, also set that in July. We got $2,000 from there. And then we've got, let's see, win-back flow. For some reason, win-back flow is not loading revenue. There is revenue attached to it. It's just not loading it right now. And then as you can see, as I move my face, we got the site abandoned flow. I set this one in July as well for this brand. So yeah, those are the flows specifically for this brand. If I can actually, there we go. Boom. So that's the revenue screenshots of, what's been generated from these flows. And I want to run you through exactly what where they were at before I came in and where they were at before this these flows. So brand is called Made Hoops. They're an apparel brand. This is exactly where the brand's flows were before I came in. Their pop-up form was only converting 3% of website traffic, which is really low. They were essentially losing out on thousands of subscribers every single month. They had a weak offer, no compelling visual or hook. Just a weak pop-up. 3% conversions is not good. I don't want to say no urgency. There's not really urgency in a pop-up, but 3% conversion rate. Welcome flow. They only had 2 emails in their welcome flow. It was a weak first impression. They didn't really give their brand story. They didn't really show social proof too much, and they didn't have any good designs. It was really weak, really bad designs. Site abandoned flow, they didn't have that. It just wasn't implemented. Browse abandoned flow, I think they had 1 email, but once again, bad design, no compelling visual. Cart abandoned flow, same deal. They did not have a cart abandoned flow. They thought they did. This is a lot of brands. They actually had a checkout abandoned flow, 2 different triggers. So missing completely, and they're missing out on a lot of revenue because of that. Checkout abandoned flow, they had 3 emails, but same deal, kind of generic copy, lackluster design, stuff that customers or potential customers didn't really want to see. It was mostly just thrown together in Klaviyo without any real design. Post-purchase flow, they didn't have one. No upsells, no thank you. It just wasn't in place. Win-back flow, I think they had 2 win-back emails. Honestly, I cannot recall what their win-back emails were off the top of my head. But their whole deal with emails was that they weren't designed well, they didn't match their brand aesthetic, and they kind of just looked a little bit plain. Sunset flow, they didn't have that in place either, so I did set that in place for them. But I want to show you the immediate wins that got us moving. So first one was this pop-up. Their brand was converting 2 to 3% of site traffic with their pop-up when I came in. Extremely lackluster, ultimately costing them thousands. I gave them a new one in the first 30 days. We saw 4 times the conversions. Show you a screenshot here if I can, Gamma will let me. Boom. Yeah, so this was 30 days before. They had 1 pop-up that did both mobile and desktop. They didn't have separate ones, so they had 30 days before, 2.53% submit rate, and a 1.2 thousand submits. So 30 days after, with their mobile got to a 14% submit rate and 5.4 thousand submits, and then their desktop one, 6% submit rate and 615 submits from that. If you average that out, it's a 10% submit rate, up from 2.53. So almost 4 times essentially the submit rate. So here's where their old pop-up was and their new pop-up was. But first, I want to give you some math about how important this could be. If you convert 2.53% of 40,000 site visitors, let's say, you get 1,012 new subscribers a month. And if you get 10%, you get around 4,000 new subscribers a month. So that's literally the difference between 3,000 new subscribers every single month just from your pop-up. So their old pop-up didn't really have a clear offer. It wasn't even pushing their current 20% off they were offering. And it had the X in the corner that is on this pop-up actually hurts conversions. The better thing to do would be to put a button below this that says no thanks, close form like this, and then no micro commit. So what I mean by that is instead of having them enter their email address right away, a great thing you can do is just have a button that says, yes, I want 20% off. It's a psychological thing. Once somebody starts something, they're more likely to finish it if they've already started it. So getting them to click that yes button gets them to say yes to something, or gets them to start something. But this new pop-up has a clear, impossible to miss offer, has a no thanks button that we just went over, and it utilizes that micro commit. And that was the difference between literally 3,000 new subscribers in the first 30 days. So, alrighty. This isn't actual numbers, but I think we did add 5,000 new subscribers or something like that. I have to look at that, so don't quote me on that. Actually, let me look. I don't want to say anything that's bad. Let's see. Yeah, so here we got 6,000 submits. Yeah, 6,000 submits in the first 30 days. This had 1.2 thousand. So around 5,000 subscribers, a little bit lower than that. 5,000 new subscribers. All right, so I want to break down these new flows and what exactly we did for this brand. Exactly what I did for this brand. I actually did all the design and everything. So firstly, welcome flow. A lot of this structure is actually all of this structure is pretty much based on Maxwell Copy's structure for flows. So I want to break that down for you guys and kind of tell you what that means. So shout out to him. Obviously, I'm sure he adapted this from somewhere, and this is going to change with every brand. Obviously, some brands are not going to need 8 emails for welcome flow. Some are going to need less. It's brand to brand, but this is a great structure to start with. So that first welcome email, deliver that incentive, that 20% off, build trust with social proof, and show them some products to shop. Secondly, brand story. Give your brand background, show them what you're about, show them why they can trust you. And then once you've built a little bit of that trust, in the third email, you're going over kind of best sellers and then those unique selling propositions of what makes your brand special. Email 4, social proof email. It's essentially, we want to build more trust here and still remind them of the discount. I'll say plus discount reminder. But yeah, we're building trust through this entire thing, because if somebody doesn't know, like, or trust your brand, they're not going to buy from you at all. So this one, us versus them. This whole email is stacking your brand up against other brands, showing your brand, showing people why your brand is the special brand and why they should choose you. And if somebody doesn't have enough social proof to purchase at this point, this entire email is dedicated to testimonials to get people over the line. And the last 2 emails are urgency-based emails, showing them that, you know, you're not going to be sending any more emails and that last call is coming. Pro tip, start with 5 emails if you're a newer brand. You don't need 8 right away. Some brands will fall off with engagement. So start with 5, maybe even 4 or 5. And if engagement and conversions are really good, move up from there and add more. Excuse me, I need some water. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm actually grabbing water. This is actually super clutch. I have water every second. Okay, for the browse abandon flow, we want to pull them back into purchase, obviously. 3 to 5 emails. Entering this back. So email number 1, you're going to show the product that they abandoned, show the product that they left behind, maybe add in a little social proof or just a couple trust icons, something like that. Email number 2 is actually a guarantee email or social proof showing the item they abandoned. Kind of how I did it for this brand was something like this. Kind of giving a guarantee or a couple guarantees that the brand has, and go over those, and then just also show that abandoned product section. And then also, if you want, you can also show a product section if they want to shop other items. So show a couple items if you'd like. Email number 3, if they are not over the line yet, they might still need something else. So give them some more social proof. Once again, show that a dynamic abandoned item. And then email 4, you can do a text-based exclusive discount, like 15 to 20%, to try to get them back to their item and purchase again. And then do a last call on that discount. Let them know it's the last email you're going to be sending. Pro tip, utilize more social proof. They're not as far as down the funnel here. They've only browsed an item so far, so they might need more social proof than typically in another scenario. Cart abandon, huge mistake. This is honestly with all flows, not just cart abandon. Is smart sending turned on? If you have smart sending on in any of your flows, turn it off. Like it's hurting your revenue. Unless your deliverability is really bad or there's some weird use case, there might be a certain scenario where you need it on. But for the most part, smart sending sucks for flows at least. So, well, but yeah. So cart abandon flow, email one, give them just a, oh, and before I should say this, I should probably say like, start with 4 to 5 emails for your cart and checkout abandon. You can expand to 8 if they perform good, or expand to more if they perform good. But start with 4 to 5. So email number 1, dynamic abandonment reminder. Just let them know about the item they left behind. Email number 2, actually just do the same thing. Just do it text-based. Switch it up a little bit. Switch the angle a little bit. But make it a text-based email. Email number 3, show them some unique selling propositions. Once again, show them that dynamic content, show them the item they left behind, and then overcome any objections they might have at this stage, because if they didn't convert in the first 2 emails, then they might need some work on overcoming objections. Email 4, this is when you can start to push a discount, give them a 20% off, whatever, give them some heavy testimonials to get them over the line, and then once again, show the item they left behind. And then email 5, sorry, it doesn't say here, show them, last chance for the last call for the discount. Let them know that this is the last email you're going to be sending for it. Same, okay, checkout abandon. This is, I don't know why that's there. Checkout abandon is the exact same flow, just different call to actions. Change the call to actions a little bit, but yeah, same flow, different trigger. Post-purchase flow, these numbers shouldn't be here. Once again, purpose is to thank the customer, build some brand loyalty. Upsell, cross-sell, ask for reviews, and plug your community or socials. So, top emails that you should probably have in a post-purchase flow is right after they purchase, a text-based thank you email with upsells is great. Is a great way to start off, super easy. Thank them for purchasing, maybe tell them a little bit about, what your brand is. Obviously they know about what the brand is, but maybe just kind of restate the mission of your brand, and then ask if they want to keep shopping, give them a keep shopping option. Email number 2, you can give them an email that asks if they're getting excited for their order. Let them know the order's, not on the way, but, let them, kind of build some excitement for the order. Show them some stuff that's special about what they bought. Maybe it's some unique things about what they bought, some unique features or products. Just get them hyped for it. Email 3, as it gets closer to when it gets delivered, show them how to use the product. If it's apparel, show them some washing or cleaning tips maybe. I didn't do this for this brand, but that is a great thing you can do. And then a review request email is amazing as well, because you'll never have to worry about asking for reviews again after that. Win back flow. Essentially people who have purchased in the past but have not purchased recently. So this has 60 to 90 days post-purchase inactivity, but here's the thing is every repurchasing window for a brand is going to be different for every different brand. So if it's a supplement brand, it could be shorter. If it's a another type of brand, it could be a lot longer. So 60 to 90 days is not hard and fast rule. Great way to do this. Simple emails you can put in this flow. A we miss you email, let them know that they haven't purchased in a while, that you miss them, and that that they haven't purchased in a while. Sorry, I had a pimple on the back of my neck. Showcase new arrivals email. That is a good way to do it, but another great thing you can do is give them a 20% off discount at the tail end of the flow if they didn't convert from this first email. Say, hey, we miss you, we want you back, hope you're doing well, whatever, 20% off, 15% off, and then give them a final call discount. Let them know it's the final email you're going to be sending for the discount. All right, 6 months, 7 flows, $225,000. I know it's technically 8 flows, but I'm not including the sunset flow. So some recent results that I've gotten. And if you want me to do a free audit of your Klaviyo account, show you exactly where you're missing revenue from your flows, your campaign side, your pop-up, everything in your Klaviyo account, book a call below. I left the link in the description, and I would love to talk to your brand. So thank you very much.